Right, this video is me putting the original textures I made in the last video on the broch towel into Maya and making sure it's all textured, and also making the scene of the Iron Age part of my video. So here I was just making sure I made the image files into TX because it was on the article I put on. I learned how to properly import textures from Substance Painter to Maya, sorry. Which I found really useful and it helped me a lot. But one thing I kind of realised, like when I exported it, as you can see, it went green. Like a lot of the texture green, so I thought, well, maybe it's just a viewer, so I thought I'll just carry on doing as I would, following the article, because I've only just found it this time. Just make sure I've got everything all put in, and maybe just when it renders out, it'll be fine. The article said remove the things if there's 1,000 in the name, but I was looking in the wrong place, and I just put 1,000 in, or UMP instead of 1,000, when I realised in a later video I found the 1,000 file, but I've realised that doing what I did obviously made it black, as you can see, and I didn't really need to change, for my other textures anyway, I realised I didn't need to change the file name or anything, so I thought it looked good enough. Maybe change it in the future, something to look at, just see if it does improve my textures in Maya. But here I was just trying to render it out, and I thought, okay, I'm going to move to 1,000 things. So, obviously, and the UVs weren't right either. It was like, I see the bottom of the tower, and I was really confused what was going on. I looked at the UVs, but then maybe I thought, again, it was the render window. Or the viewer window, should I say, and probably when it renders out, it'll be fine. Yeah, so I thought I'd just do the door. The textures on this were all fine. Again, just following the article. Make sure everything is put in the right place. Yeah, then I opened up Substance Painter, and it's just like, I'm going to see what's like rendered, and it's like, it looks nothing like how it's textured. So I'll bring the textures back in again, when I model back into Substance, retexture, re-export it, so the exporting must have gone wrong. So I was messing around with the settings, getting it right, make sure it all looks fine in the Substance exporter, so I thought, okay, export it again, put in a different file, and then bring it all the way in, to bring it into Maya again. So obviously create the TX files, bring it in, edit all, and now it looks like it should do. I was just editing the file origins, and it looked exactly how I wanted it to do, and I was quite pleased I managed to, with this problem, I managed to fix it of how I wanted it to do. So here I was just setting up the, here I went to Substance, so I went to copy over the environment map, just to check that all the lighting and everything was pretty much identical. The article told me to do this, so I just thought I might as well just see, to make sure everything's near enough identical, because I really like the texture in Substance Painters, so if it looks the same in Maya, then I'm going to be happy with my model. Here I just waited for the environment map to apply it to the sky dome, and just doing all the settings, and it's like, oh, there we go. It looks how it was. But here I was going onto my blog to check my reference image about the roof of it, and I realised like some of the old brochs, they had like pointy roofs at the sides So I had a cylinder. I was trying to use the sculpting tool but I think I picked the wrong one. I picked the sculptor tool. I should have gone this sculpt geometry tool, which is a completely different tool, which I know that now. But at the time of the video I wasn't sure, so I just made the tip of the cone really just point to one edge, so it still gave that kind of wonky kind of effect. And there's a few ways I could have gone texturing the roof. I could have gone with the way, because as it's a thatch roof, I could have gone the same way with my hut and done the hair system and with all the different, to make it look proper thatch. But then that would have took a lot of time to render again, as I didn't have any more time to render 32 hours worth of video. So I went on Substance Share just trying to find like a fabricy kind of texture which could work, and I found one, and I quite liked the texture, and as it wasn't thatched like as you can see from the reference image, it was very tightly knit thatch. It's not like the old hut style, so just changing the colour around, adding a bit of normal detail, exporting it out. Because I'm going to put this straight into Maya, if the textures all worked again, which I think they did it worked fine this time round. So I was a bit like, oh, it looks a bit cartoonish, but I was like, but then I realised it was just the viewer window, which caused it to look like this. But that's fine. As when the test render, it will comes out as it is in Substance Painter, really. So just putting all the channels in normal maps, and there you go. I was just testing it when I render it, and it's like, oh yeah, it looks good. And here I was just trying to brush up how to make a mountainside in Maya, but then I was like, oh no, I've got to how to make it was a quick tool how to make a quick terrain geometry sculpt tool, which I should have used for the roof. So yes, because this was to make the environment, because I wanted the Broch Tower to go on a hill. So I made a plane, added some subdivisions into it, and then I thought I'd try to sculpt it myself, thinking I'd be fine. I just like there we go. I found the right tool I needed. But I realized, oh yeah, I had a heat map, I had a bump map what I could have used, so I've just used that. So just what I used. Also, I made the tower a bit smaller, so it looks like a tower rather than a massive thing over plane. And I was trying to add the water. I wanted it to be like a beach kind of thing, cliff face. So I was trying to add water. Then I went following a video. It was I'll go into the Content Explorer to find ocean. And I found it eventually, but then it ended up, it creates a small simulation, which is cool, but it's not what I needed, because I thought, okay, I'll just try and rescale this, I think it'd be fine, but then it just looked weird, it didn't look right to me. Like you see from the test renders, the lighting wasn't sorted, but it wasn't that fixed. So I tried to do another one, like with the crashing on the rocks. I thought, oh, that'd be cool, because then the water's actually animated. And going, and it looks really high detailed and high res, but when I obviously rendered out, it's got all the assets of the rocks being there, so I would have had to put the rocks in the scene, which I could have done, and I probably should have done, but I was like, the time it was going to take to render all that, and as it's only a background, I don't need it to be that highly detailed. So here I got the other ocean shader adds all the mist and stuff, and I just scaled this. This was like perfect for what I wanted, because it had the mist of the ocean, it had water there. I could render it all out, and it looked fine. So here I was just UVing the textures of the scene, and I was trying to get grass and cliff face textures to add onto this ground plane, which to give like a kind of Scotland kind of landscape feel, Scottish kind of feel. So yeah, I was adding the mud, I was just messing around with mud texture, grass texture, and cliff face texture. It took me a while to get what I wanted. But it's a good thing to test all this, add mud, add the different layers on, because then it's just all kind of, it's just experimenting to see what's right. So if I'll do this grass and mud, but then after a while I was like, no, I want a cliff face. Cliff face got more detail, it's more interesting to look at than just mud. So I was like, so I applied the mud on and try and get the grass on there, just changing the normal detail. And I thought I'll get rid of the mud completely, and just started adding the cliff on top of the grass, so it all just merges together. So yes, obviously I forgot to bake the textures. Then I keep forgetting to do that first. Bake textures, then texture. But obviously putting it all in, and just getting it right, really. To be fair. And I just tried to put a bit of mud in. I thought, okay, I'll do the particle effect where it can rain down. I thought, I quite like that. That's quite cool. I'll export this. And quite effect like, because it kind of gave a realistic look of the mud being spread across. So I was again into my applying all the textures. Just apply again, I think all the normal maps and stuff. But then when I came to render it, it looked cool, but it was too low res kind of thing for the detail, and my Maya all crashed just then after trying to chase all the textures around and move, so I lost everything, so I would have to re-UV everything and re-texture all. So I just applied all the textures and stuff again, and I was just making sure doing step by step, because my crash when I added a normal map to it, and obviously my lighting was a bit off, but I need to build the world scene like the sky dome and everything, to change all the settings, and I was quite happy with what it was. It was just a bit low res, so I've just got to change the textures around a little bit. So like here I just tried to make it more detail, and it was just couldn't quite get it right. Um, so yeah, so that was the video of me setting up the scene and the Broch Tower. And thank you very much.